So today we're going to be talking about features of graphs. Okay, there's going to be 6 main points we're going to talk about, and we're going to look at 4 different graphs today, including this one. Okay, so on this graph right now, again, this is what you see in your notes, but it's a little bit colored on my piece of paper. So we're going to start with definitions first. So first thing we're going to talk about is domain. So go ahead and write the word domain, and you can write this anywhere on the front page of your notes because we're not going to do any of those questions. Okay, so domain. Does anyone know what values domain works with? X or Y? Take a guess. It is X values. Domain is the X values. Okay. What's happening with the domain? Okay, here's more definitions. We are going from the lowest X. I'm going to say smallest. Smallest X to the highest X value. Okay. So looking at the graph over here for domain and range. So X values, remember, as a review, it is left to right. Okay, we are looking left to right on the graph. So if I'm looking at this graph here and I keep coming to the left, what is my smallest X value? Go ahead and put arrows on the end there if you don't have them already. What is my smallest X value if I keep working this way? Some of you might say 0 just because that's where the graph stops. But what does this arrow tell you? It's going to keep going, right? So is there really a small X value? No, it's going to keep going. So we're going to count that as negative infinity. Okay, negative infinity because we're going towards the negative X values. Okay, now we do the same thing, but now we're looking for the highest X value. So the more I go to the right in my graph, what do I hit again?
Positive.
Yep, I hit that arrow again, which means it keeps going. So that means we're going to go towards positive infinity. Okay, so our domain of our X values is from negative infinity all the way to positive infinity. Okay. Next one we're going to talk about is range. Okay. Domain was the X values. What do you think the range is? Y values. You got it. Y values, are those side to side or up and down? Up and down. Yep, write yourself a reminder there. Y values are up and down. Okay. So with range, it is very similar to domain, but just with the Y values. So now we're looking for the lowest Y value to the highest Y value. Okay, so looking at our graph here, remember Y values are up and down. So if I'm going down the graph, do I ever hit a point where I don't go any lower? Do I go any lower? Wrong color. Do I go any lower than this point right here? No. So what is this Y value here? Negative 8. Good. So our Y value here is negative 8. That's our smallest. Now if I keep going up in either direction, do I ever hit a stopping point? Why are you shaking your head no, Gracie? Because there's an arrow, right? Do you agree this is going to keep going up also? Okay, so we never hit a highest Y value, so this goes to infinity. Okay, again, why did it not go to negative infinity here? Right, why did we pick negative 8 and not negative infinity? It stopped here, right? There's no arrow there. It stopped here. Nothing came down here, so that's why we had to stop at that negative 8. Okay, so that is range. Next one we're going to talk about, something that you're familiar with, is x-intercepts. What does it mean to be an x-intercept? What does it cross? Crosses the x-axis. So let's say points. No, let's say where it crosses the x-axis, sorry. And again, which one is the x-axis? Side to side or up and down? Side to side. Yep, so we're still looking side to side. So on our graph, on your paper, I want you to go put points where there are values that cross the x-axis. So I'll do this one with you. Do you agree it crosses right here? Okay, where else does it cross? At 9, right? So here's our x-axis. Okay, it crossed at 1 and 9. So how we write our x-intercepts? Okay, we said we had x equals 1. How do I write that as a coordinate? What I mean is our coordinates x and y. What did we say x equals? 1. What's my y for an x-intercept? 0. Yep, so we write that as 1, 0. We had another one, right? What was our other x value? X equals 9. How do I write that as a coordinate? 9, 0. Good. Okay, are there any more x-intercepts? Nope, those are the only two. What do you think comes after x-intercepts? Y-intercepts, yep. What is a y-intercept? Where it crosses the y-axis, yep. Good. So, is y's up and down or side to side? Good. Write yourself a little reminder there. So, if I come up to my graph up here, here is the y-axis. Do we have a point where it crosses? It is 2. Yep. So, this time we're talking about y's, remember? So, we have y equals 2. How do I write the y-intercept as a coordinate? 0, 2. Good. Do I have any more y-intercepts? No, that's the only place where it crosses. Last two, I'm going to come over here just so I have room. We're going to talk about increasing and decreasing. What does it mean to increase? It means to go up, right? What does it mean to decrease? Go down, exactly. Biggest thing with increasing and decreasing is we are looking at the x values. Okay, for both increasing and decreasing. Okay, so for increasing and decreasing, I want you to get in the habit of reading left to right, because do you read a book left to right? Yeah. Yes. Okay, so same thing for a graph. We're going to be reading left to right. Okay, so let's look at the graph up here. I'm going to start at all the way to the left. So do you agree the leftmost part of my graph is right here? Agree with that? Okay, so I'm going to start here. What are we doing right away? Are we increasing or decreasing? What's going on in my graph? We're going down, right? So we're decreasing. Now we're going to write these as intervals. Where do we start decreasing at? What's this arrow mean up here? It's going to keep going forever, right? So that's negative infinity for our x values. So we're starting to decrease from negative infinity. Where do we stop decreasing? Tell me when to stop. Right here, right? What is this x value? Okay, we stop decreasing right here. What's that x value? Say it one more time. 5. So we're decreasing from negative infinity to 5. What do we start doing now that we hit 5? We're going back up. So we start increasing at 5. And do we ever stop increasing? No. What's this arrow mean then? Infinity. Yep. What do you notice about where we stopped decreasing and started increasing? It switched and the values are the same, right? Wherever it stops increasing, it starts decreasing. Or wherever it stops decreasing, it starts increasing. Okay? These are the 6 features of the graphs that we are going to look at. Okay, and we're going to do 3 practice problems with these. Okay, in your groups. So, I'm going to show you a graph. I want you to draw this graph to the best of your ability as best as you can. So what I want you to do, okay, use your graph paper, don't use your notes. We're on our graph paper now. Okay, so write that equation just so you know what you're working with. Y equals 2x plus 10 on your graph paper. You will be drawing 3 graphs on your graph paper.
That's too big.
Nope, that's okay. If you always need to grab another piece of graph paper, you can. I'm going to zoom in so you can see better. Okay, I want you to draw that graph to the best of your ability. What I advise, okay, get this point on the x-axis, get this point on the y-axis, draw your line from there. Nothing else really matters. Okay, and I know they're kind of small. This is a 10, and this is a -5. Here we have a line, okay, and I do want you to add at the end of your line, go ahead and add those arrows, because it will go on forever in both directions. Okay, so starting off with domain, what values, go ahead and use your notes, what values are we looking at for domain? X values, right? We're working with X values.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking side to side. So on this line, what is my smallest X value? Do I have a smallest X value? Why not? It's going to keep on going to where? But it's negative, right? So negative infinity. And then now we want our highest X value. What's my highest X value? Because we hit the arrow again, right? So it's going to keep going this way forever. So we got positive infinity there. Next one is what? Range. What values are we looking at for range? Y values. So now we're going up and down. So when I go down the graph, do I ever hit a Y value where I stop? No. Why? Hits the arrow. So I go to negative infinity. Highest Y value. If I keep going up. Keeps going, right? So that would be what? Positive infinity. Okay, there's your domain and range. Next one's what? X-intercept. Okay, I kind of already have a point there. Where does it cross the x-intercept? Or sorry, the x-axis? -5. So it crosses at x equals -5. How do I write that as a xy coordinate? Bingo. Yep, this turns to -5, 0. What comes after x-intercept? Y-intercept. I already plotted it, but where do we cross the y-axis? 10. So that's y equals 10. How do I write that as an xy coordinate? 0, 10. Good. And what are the last two? Increasing and decreasing. Remember, I want you to look at these at the same time. So we always start where? How do we read things? Left to right. Okay, so we're going to start all the way over here to the left. What are we doing right away on my graph? We are increasing. Where did we start increasing from? Careful. It is the x value, but is that my smallest x value? Negative infinity, right? So we start increasing from negative infinity. Where do we stop increasing at? Right, we never stop, so it continues on to positive infinity. Are we ever decreasing? Like, is this graph ever decreasing? Yeah. If you read right to left, yes, but we read left to right.
Oh,
so does it ever come back down? No, so there is none decreasing. All right, on this one, talking about domain, what values are domain? X or Y's? X value. So we're reading left to right. What is my smallest X value?
4, negative infinity.
Right, because we hit arrows. So we got negative infinity to, what's my highest? It's my highest x value. Positive infinity because we hit the arrows. Good. Range. What values are range? Y values. So we're reading up and down. A lot of us want to put negative infinity to positive infinity. However, are there ever arrows bringing us down in this area? No. So what is my smallest y value? Why is it 0 and not 4? Because I think a lot of you wanted to put 4 here, but why is it 0? Right, because we want the y values for the range. So our smallest is 0. What is my highest y value? If I keep going up either direction, what happens? It's going to keep going because we hit those arrows. Good. So range is 0 to infinity. Next is the x-intercepts. Where do we cross the x-axis or touch? X equals 4, right? It's right here. So we have x equals 4. How do I write that as a coordinate? 4, 0. Y-intercepts. Do I have any? Yep, look at this y-axis here. We do cross at 4, so this time we have y equals 4. How do I write that as a coordinate? 0, 4. Okay, and then the last two, remember increasing and decreasing. What I want you to get in the habit of with these two is I want you to look at them at the same time. Okay, I want you to read the graph all together. So we're going to read left to right and see what's happening. So if I start all the way to the left over here where my graph is, what are we doing first? Decreasing. Where did we start decreasing? Negative infinity, right? Negative infinity. Where did we stop decreasing? Why do you say 4 and not 0? And we want the x values. Okay, so we are decreasing from negative infinity to 4 because we stopped at 4. What do we start doing at 4? Increasing. So from 4 to where? Infinity. Good. Remember with the increasing and decreasing, what should always most likely match up? The start point and the end point should always match up. Okay. With domain, what values are we looking at? X's or Y's? X's. So the farther left I go, what is my lowest x value? Do I have a smallest x value? No, because I hit the arrows, so I'm going towards negative infinity. What is my highest x value? Coming to the right. I hit infinity again, right? It is kind of deceiving because it's just going down and it feels like it stops here. But as it keeps going, this graph is going to continue going in that direction. Next one is range. Range was a little tricky on this one. What values are we working on for range? Y values. So up and down. What is my smallest y value? I heard it. Negative infinity. What is my, on the y-axis, what is my highest y value? What's this y value? Yep, we want y values, so that would be 5. Next one is x-intercept. How many x-intercepts do I have? I do have 2. What's this one?
0.
Yep, x equals 0, so that would be 0, 0. Where's the other one? At 3, x equals 3, so that would give you 3, 0. What's after x-intercepts? Y-intercepts. Do I have any y-intercepts? It is 0, 0 again. Yep, x equals 0 to give you 0, 0. Next one is increasing and decreasing. Remember, I want you to look at these at the same time because we read from left to right. So, starting all the way to the left, down here, what am I doing first? Increasing. Where did I start increasing from? Negative infinity. Where do I stop increasing? Yep, remember we want the x values, so we stop increasing at 1. At 1, what do we start doing? Decreasing. So decreasing from 1 to, yes, positive infinity. And again, even though it's going down, why is it positive infinity? Because we're dealing with the x values for the increasing and decreasing. Good.